Welcome to this week's Garage Devotional. I'm Pastor Ted from Connect Church in Ventura. Today we are continuing our series of a lift to help us stay on the road. And basically we're looking at passages of Scripture that'll just inspire us, lift us up, maybe make our days lighter or encourage us in situations we're going through. And so today's verses are going to be found in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verses 6 through 8. But before we dig into our passage today, let's look at this week's car. So many of you had asked to continue the cars, so we're going to do that for a while longer. Today, we're going to be looking at a 1935 Bugatti Type 57S Competition Coupe Aerolith. Long name. The original example of the 1955 Bugatti Type 57S Competition Coupe Aerolith was debuted at the Paris Auto Show in 1935. But it was lost right after the unveiling. Nobody really knows about what happened to it, but the popular explanation is that Bugatti disassembled it for parts for the next year's 1957 car. The model on display here that we're going to see is a recreation produced in 2007 based on the recorded specs and photographs and even an oil painting by a Bugatti engineer. So here is the picture of this car. Did you see it? It is a beautiful car. Some wonderful lines in it, a little bubble top, but it is I think a really nice looking car. Sad that it got lost and they never produced any more of them. But that's our car for today. Now let's jump into our verses today and give you some context of them. We pick up this story. This is a story of Joshua and Moses. Moses is leading the Israelite people, and Joshua has been assisting him. We find Moses charging Joshua to lead the Israelites into the promised land. Why? Because he was going to stay behind. He had finished his leadership. There's a reason why he had to stay behind. We're not going to talk about it today. But now Joshua becomes the leader. He's a young leader who was mentored by Moses, and the time has come now for him to step into that leadership position. And I could only imagine that the weight and most likely maybe even fear or feelings of inadequacy that Joshua might have felt or been experiencing at that time. He is now the leader over all the people. He will be the one to lead Israel's armies against the fortified cities and seasoned soldiers of those that are in the land that they're entering. In addition, Joshua would be required to inspire and encourage the people. In this passage, we find the word of the Lord coming to Joshua and how the Lord speaks through Moses to Joshua to help him get ready for what was ahead of him. These verses that we're going to look at will lift us up today, and they come straight from this passage, and we need to take them straight from Jesus himself to us. Verse 6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord that goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you." Verse 7, "Then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, 'Be strong and courageous. You shall go with this people and into the land that the Lord has sworn to their fathers and given them, and you shall put them in possession of it. It is the Lord,'" hear this, "it is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or dismay." We need to take those words to our heart. The Lord is with us. The Lord is with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. You do not need to fear or be dismayed. Great word from the Lord today. Whatever you're facing today, or whatever you will face in the future, let these words of Scripture encourage you and inspire you, lift you up and lift me up. Here are a few thoughts that hopefully will help us apply these words of encouragement that the Lord has given us through his word today. First one, do not let fear grip you. Do not let fear grip you. Let the words and presence of Jesus give you confidence. that is anchored in him. So don't let fear grip you, but let the words and presence of Jesus give you confidence in that you are anchored in that. You can be strong and courageous as you stand on the words of Jesus and as you place your confidence or make Jesus your anchor and his words your anchor. Secondly, remember, whatever we face, Jesus not only goes with us, but he goes before us. Whatever we face, Jesus not only goes with us, but he goes before us and prepares the way. Let's remind ourselves that Jesus goes with us, and not only with us, but he goes before us, and therefore he will show us the way through whatever we're going in or the way he's leading us to this new thing or whatever it might be. Third, Jesus never leaves. Jesus never leaves you. Jesus will never, he says, forsake you. He will always be there. Just as he was with Moses, as we see this passage, he was with Joshua. He is with us 24/7. We need to remind ourselves of that. Whether it's in the midnight hours and we fear is gripping us, or whether it's in situations that Jesus will never leave us or forsake us, he's with us 24/7. He knows how to lift us up. He knows how to encourage us. He knows how to inspire us. He knows how to equip us. And he knows how to surround us with his peace and lift us up into his presence so that we could press forward. He knows how to do that. Fourth, reflect this week on what strong and courageous looks like. Let's reflect this week on what strong and courageous looks like for us in our life. Remember, Peter had to take the first step out of the boat in the middle of the storm, and he had to start walking. Peter started walking on the water only after he got out of the boat. Jesus will lift us up in the middle of our storms. What we need to do is to step out and step into his presence and step into what he has for us. In the middle of our crises, the middle of our hard times, the middle even of our good times, we need to take that first step of placing our faith in Jesus instead of circumstances. We need to place our faith in Jesus instead of circumstances. There'll always be enemies to conquer. There'll always be lands to conquer. There always will be situations to conquer and go through. But through it all, let's place our faith in Jesus and not the circumstances. Let us just anchor ourselves in him, knowing that he goes before us and behind us. He is there with us. Lastly, allow the words of Jesus to lift you up, to inspire you, to fill you with joy and give you hope. Allow these words of scripture that we share in this series to lift you up, to inspire you, to fill you with joy, and to give you hope in your life. Jesus will never leave you. Be encouraged today. Lord bless you.